Ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, yeah! Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet, Sports Unfolded, where we cover all of the top sports stories that have happened this past week. I am your host, Eric. Main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay right now.
Right now, it's going to be a tough
Right
show.
now.
So if you have never tuned into Sports Unfolded before, Danny, thanks for joining. This is our show where at the end of the show, we are going to do our in memoriam for all the athletes and sports figures that we lost in 2024. So, stay tuned to the end of the show so you can, obviously hear all these athletes that, some of them amaze you that we have lost this past year. But also, if you have anything you'd like to say on the chat while we're doing
a
it,
reflection kind of thing, I mean, look, athletes are special, and we're all gonna have memories, and I know one of them in particular is really gonna hit home, and I know I said it on the show the week that he did pass away, and it just makes me rethink about it again. And all these athletes, you might not know all of them, and I'd frankly be surprised if you did know all of them, but there are going to be some that are going to trigger some emotions and some feelings and memories. So
yeah, and when we're here for you again, we are live, we are fan interactive, so if you are joining us, please join the chat like Danny has done. Happy New Year to you as well, Danny. Hope you had a great holiday. And again, we are on every social media platform possible. Also on the radio, WDJY 99.1 FM, Dallas, Georgia. Thank you for your support, as well as WBOB in Rhode Island, internet radio there, and SEC TV, public access channel 12 in Southeast Connecticut.
Oh, he's already reeling them off.
Yeah, we will get to him. Danny, we're going to actually start off with our leadoff story, which is unfortunately an athlete we lost this week, and that was Rickey Henderson. So the baseball world lost another great legend this week. Rickey Henderson passed away at the age of 65. Thoughts on his career? Thoughts about what he meant to baseball, Ron?
I mean, when you put in perspective on how many stolen bases he had, and compare that to number 2, Lou Brock, who had less than 1,000. I mean, he impacted the game. And not only could he run like the wind, he also had pop in his bat.
Yeah.
He had like 174 home runs. He holds the record for leadoff home runs. I mean,
I got some stats there that I would love to read.
He was a phenomenal player, and it impacted the games. If he was playing today, the guy would have 200 stolen bases in a year.
Oh, with the bigger bags, everything, yes. Amazing to think about. So his nickname, the Man of Steel, but Steel, S-T-E-A-L.
Yep.
I thought that was very fitting. I love that.
Absolutely.
Almost 500 more steals than the person in second place, which you said, Lou Brock. So you think about over 1,400 steals. Ron, did you know only player in Major League Baseball to have 3,000 hits and 2,000 walks? So not only...
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I knew he had the hits and the walks.
Yep.
But I did not know he was the only player. That is incredible.
Led the American League in steals 12 times.
Yeah, nobody was touching him.
81 leadoff homers, most in Major League Baseball history. Most in unintentional walks. So not intentional, unintentional. 2,100.
He had a good eye at the plate.
Ron, 2,129 walks.
Yeah, it's craziness, right? I mean, it's it's unheard of. It's just unheard of because players don't have that kind of patience up there,
No,
you
no.
know. And I'm actually surprised his career batting average was only 279. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, I'm
yeah,
surprised,
yeah.
you know.
Kenny,
And it's
Kenny, thanks for joining. Yeah,
Kenny.
most runs scored as well. 2,295 runs, most in Major League Baseball history. So when he got
He's a
on,
great player.
you were definitely getting it. Career average 279, 3,055 hits in his career, 297 home runs. We said the 2,295 in runs, 1,115 RBIs, 1,406 stolen bases.
That's a leadoff hitter, by the
Yep,
way,
that is
with that many RBI.
Yeah, that is interesting. Vince Scully, the Dodgers, yes.
Hey,
10
he
time
died this week.
10-time
I mean,
All-Star.
this year.
No, I don't think so. I think it was last year.
I
Did
thought
John
it was
Madden.
last
John Madden was last year too. 10-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, 1 Gold Glove, 1 MVP, and 2 championships. Ron, he played for 9 teams. So before we move on,
I know.
do you know which 9 teams they were?
All right. I know it was Oakland.
Yes.
I know it was the Yankees.
Yes, sir.
I want to say it was the Mets.
Mets were in there, yes.
He played like a half a season for Boston.
Was in there for the Red Sox, yep.
I want to say it was the California Angels.
He did play for the Angels. Austin, thanks for joining. Yes, R.I.P. Ricky.
The others are foggy, but was it Chicago Cubs?
No. Padres, you missed.
The Padres. That's
the Mariners. The Blue Jays.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, Toronto. That was the year that he split with Boston, if I'm not mistaken.
And then his last season was with the Dodgers. Do not remember that. I do not remember that.
I don't remember
and I looked at,
either.
you know how many stolen bases he had for Boston? The area was there? 8 times, you know, he was at the back end of his career, but 9 teams, obviously an amazing career.
Why am I not surprised it's only 8?
Yeah, but Ricky Henderson, Danny, that's who we're talking about. Ricky Henderson. Amazing career. Again, unfortunately, one that we lost this week. And stay tuned for our In the Memorium special because his name will definitely be part of that as well. But I couldn't have said it better. Austin, R.I.P. Ricky Henderson is playing baseball with a lot of great athletes now. So
we lost a lot of them.
We did. We're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit about some other sports, and we'll get back to the In the Memoriam part of it. But we're gonna bring up some NFL right now, Ron, and talk about this story that's coming out. Pete Carroll's interested in joining the Bears as their head coach. Should they consider him as a candidate?
Oh, absolutely. Because we had talked about this before. Because, like, you don't realize how great he was of a coach. And I remember him leaving New England, and I'm like, oh, thank God we have, somebody really good now. And then you look at his career, he succeeded in both college and the NFL. He's won championships. So our early, I guess, thoughts of Pete Carroll was not very good. But when you start looking at his history is spectacular.
No, it's pretty remarkable. Think about this, Ron. Chicago Bears said they want to hire a leader of men. That is the quotes coming out of Chicago. Obviously, he can coach, and we know how he is. He's a player-friendly coach where he really can get these players to do a lot. Key would be, though, 74 years old, would be the oldest hire in NFL history. Bill Belichick, I believe they said in the story I read, reached out to Chicago before he took the NC job to see their interest. And I'm sure, I don't know if Chicago is ready for Pete Carroll or Bill Belichick, because at the end of the day, they're looking for somebody young that can offensively change the landscape for them. I don't think Pete Carroll does that. He's a defensive-minded coach. I think it's great. It's remarkable that at 74 he wants to get back into coaching, which is pretty intense to think
I mean, he
about.
looks good.
Oh, I mean, the guy was always high energy, even I mean,
Look, I think the Chicago Bears right now are as low as they've been in a franchise, right? And it not necessarily means, your personnel, your record. I mean, there's a lot of good things that happened with this team this year, but unfortunately, all the bad stuff was coach related. Because they are not giving this team a direction. So it's partially the owners and partially the coaching. And it's just been an abomination of screw ups throughout this whole season.
Right. Matt Eberflus fired few weeks ago. Still hasn't changed it. 9-game losing streak right now. So they've got a lot that they have to work through. You said it. Listen, 18 seasons as an NFL coach, 291 games, 170, 120, and 1. So it's 58% winning percentage. 11-11 in the postseason with a championship. College, 116 games, 97-19, 83% winning percentage. 7-2 in the bowl games and the 2 championships. USC tie maybe with Caleb Williams, and you could kind of see maybe somebody from USC saying, "Hey, this guy can coach and help you."
Yeah, and especially like the younger players, right? I don't know if that fun head coach that's a player's head coach really works for the veterans as much as it will work for the younger players that are coming in that can learn. And I think they got the right. If they get Pete Carroll, I think it stabilizes the franchise. I think it gives, hope for those fans that were chanting, "Sell the team."
But how long do you think Pete Carroll lasts? Is my question. Like, do you get
I would say
3-4 years?
Look, I would probably say maybe 3 years, and I get it. But he might be, the stabilizer, like I said, and can give a direction. And then you bring in an offensive coordinator that's really good and a defensive coordinator that can get his plan in place.
I would say this, Ron. I agree with you in this aspect. If you did take on Carroll, you got to get an offensive coordinator that is high, has a high ceiling.
Yes.
Because then what you're doing is maybe you're having Carroll groom him to become the next head coach.
Yes.
Which would make sense. So I could see that. Ricky Henderson played for these teams. Very good, Danny. Yes, he did, sir. Very good. All 9 of them. Ron, there's also, believe it or not, week 17. We have 2 weeks left of the NFL season. Are there games of interest this week that the fans should be watching?
I mean, to me, it is only playoff contenders. You got to watch that Atlanta game. That is a big one because really we're trying to decide who's going to go in those 2 divisions, right? You're talking Atlanta, Tampa Bay, and you're talking the Rams and Seattle. Those are the teams that everybody's watching. Those are the most important games because I think most of the teams are already established that they're making the playoffs. And I know Dallas has a shot.
No,
they're not making it.
No, they're eliminated.
Yeah, that's right. They're out. Not out. Dallas. I was thinking of AFC Colts. I believe it was what I was thinking. I think they're the ones that are right on the doorstep.
Yeah.
They're not making it. It's going to be the teams that are in.
Surprised.
Maybe Denver can slip out.
Yeah, little surprised. Cowboys versus Eagles. Danny, Cowboys Nation in the house. I'm surprised you're really interested in that game. Listen, interesting part of that game is Jalen Hurts out, most likely for that game. So, again, what you see from the quarterback, can Philly, have some spiral effect from this? I had the Broncos at the Bengals, Ron, because, again, the Bengals are still not eliminated.
The Bengals, I think, if there is a team, the Bengals can swap with. With
they need a
Denver,
lot of
and
help.
This is why.
Yeah, they need a lot of help. But again, they win this game. They're only a game away from Denver, and who knows? I had the Falcons at the Commanders. Michael Penix Jr. wins his first game.
Yeah.
Let's see, though. This is a much better opponent than the Giants. And then that Packers at Vikings.
Yes, because that's going to tell us who's going to be the higher seed.
And believe it or not, Packers have not won a game in their division this year. Even though they've got 10 wins, they have not beaten a division opponent other than Chicago.
That's not an opponent.
They don't count. Ravens, Chiefs. The Ravens aren't playing this week. Mahomes, young native Tino, thanks for joining. Mahomes, 41 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in the playoffs. Is that insane? He is.
That's scary.
He's another level, man. Lamar 6'6" in the playoffs. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Oh, I like this. He's coming with stats and everything.
I will say this. Until Lamar can prove that he can do it in the postseason, listen, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. He's probably going to win his third MVP. He's right there. Yet, again, the question is going to be, can he do it when it counts the most? This has been his best season where it's more of he can pass, run, he's making better decisions. But we thought this last season, and then the Chiefs upset him in the postseason. And I consider an upset because I think Baltimore was a better team.
Look, I am hoping first of all, I want somebody else in there, right? I want to see some new teams. And I mean, I don't mind if Philadelphia makes it to the Super Bowl, but I would like somebody different. I would like to see Minnesota or Detroit in the Super Bowl.
I think the Super Bowl everybody wants is Buffalo, Detroit, because at that point, one of them has to win.
Yeah, right? I would like to see Buffalo get there as well.
But again, we could do the same thing. We're talking about Lamar. Josh Allen has had struggles in the postseason.
Yeah.
And again, we looked at that game against Cincinnati last year in the snow. You're like, everything bodes well for Buffalo, and they fell apart. I don't know. Again, if we said we'd never see another Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes is going to do it. I think he's going to be that guy. If you think about where he's at in his career, it's very possible that Mahomes passes Brady.
Like when I look at this whole thing right now, I really truly see Patrick Mahomes as number 3 right now.
Wow. That's
I really do. I think he needs to win another one to get in the conversation with Joe Montana. You know, once he has 4, then he kind of leapfrogs Joe Montana in my book. Once he gets 4.
Okay.
He still needs a couple more before we can talk.
If anybody, and I'm not sure if Young Native's a Chiefs fan, I can't see the picture. Looks like Chiefs colors.
Number 10 is that?
That was Hill. Yeah. That? Oh, that Tyreek Hill. Yeah, Tyreek Hill. Yeah. So that is, I will say this, and obviously not that I'm a Brady fan or anything. If you think about the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are 15-1 right now, I would never think that 4 rings at 29 would be pretty damn impressive. Something Brady didn't do, and something Brady didn't do.
And that's why I say when he gets his next one, because he's already in the conversation with Montana now. So if he gets this, say he wins this year, he's leapfrogging over Joe Montana, and then now it's the conversations, right?
I think he's ahead of him. I think he's ahead of him. I think Tom's the only one ahead of him right now. I think Tom's the only one ahead of him. And but it'll be interesting. Listen, home field throughout now. Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
So you're talking
same formula.
Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson has to go to Kansas City to win.
Mike Zimmer, his contract is finished, and they might bring back Zimmer. I don't know if McCarthy's done in Dallas. I thought so at the beginning of the season, midway through. I'm like, okay. And now you start to look at it and look at these candidates that are going by the wayside. And I haven't heard Vrabel, who's been the hot name being mentioned for all these jobs, mentioned in Dallas.
Yeah.
So I can't see them making a change unless it's for a guy that's a higher quality than Mike McCarthy. And I don't know. It's going to be pretty interesting. Great discussion. We appreciate everybody chiming in. Continue to give us your thoughts. We are going to move on, Ron, to our starting five. So our starting five, they had to have won an Ott Ross in the last 24 years, since the year 2000. Ott Ross, which is the scoring champion. Some interesting names on here, and I know it's going to piss you off because I know you got somebody on your starter five that you have to put on there based on what I had. But we start
that's
off.
why you did it from 2000.
Oh yeah,
you
exactly.
Didn't go back to 52 years.
No.
And I knew it.
So I will say this:
he wouldn't make the list. He wouldn't have made it.
Honorable mentions. We'll start off with our honorable mentions. I had Jerome McGillna and Joe Thornton on my honorable mention. Those were my
just two.
Yeah, I had two. I mean, I could have put some other guys, but those two, it was almost hard to keep them off the starting five.
I feel like we're going to have completely different lists today.
Monica, thanks for joining. What's going on? Happy holidays to you as well. Thank you for joining. Monica, Justin 21. All right. We got some peeps on today.
Who's first? Is it you?
I am first this week. Do you have honorable mentions?
Oh, you did yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I have my traditional 5 honorable mentions. I try to do top 10. So I have Joe Thornton. Honorable mention.
Yeah.
The man had 1,500 plus points, and he was a great hockey player.
Yeah.
One of the best that never won a championship.
Agreed.
Unfortunately for Big Joe. I also have Jerome McGinley as well.
Okay.
I mean, you can't deny those 625 goals. I mean, he was a phenomenal player. Also, I have Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, it didn't do enough for me yet. That's why I didn't.
I mean, 371 goals isn't enough.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's still, and he didn't get 1,000 points. Everybody on my list has at least 1,000 points. Yeah.
He will next season.
Well, we're doing this year, buddy. So
yeah, I know. Kucherov, honorable mention.
Again, not 1,000 points. Left him off.
He will next year.
He will. So when we do this list next year, when we do next year this list, then I'll put him on.
All right. I don't know how you didn't recognize Patrick Kane, especially considering 1,298 points and 3 Stanley Cups.
You know what? Why I kept him off? The lowest plus minus on this list.
+7
of all these guys. Absolutely garbage.
It's
so
awful.
He's basically almost even. Nope, wasn't putting him on my list.
Yeah. But
Absolutely
he did get on my list because of those 476 goals and 1,200 points.
I could see it.
So that's my honorable mention.
All right. So our starting 5, Ott Ross, which are scoring champion since the year 2000. At number 5 for me, Ron, Evgeny Malkin. So he will next year. Yes, he will next year. Evgeny Malkin, 405 goals, 820 assists, 1,325 points. A +37. That's why he's 5th. I didn't like the plus minus. 3 All-Stars, 2 Rosses, so he won it twice. A Smythe, a Hart, a Pearson, and a 3-time Cup winner. Yamir Yager. Oh, look, Jerome McGillna. Look at him. Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah, look at you, buddy.
That's a nice top 5. And you know what? That's pretty good because... You know, like, first of all, Peter Forsberg doesn't have, the goals, but the guy can play 2 ways. He's like the original, well, not the original, but he's like a pre-Bergeron. And
the reason I kept him off too, only 860 points in his career.
Yeah, but he was averaging over a point a game.
He was the lowest on this list in points.
Yeah.
But at 5 for you, Ron?
I also have Evgeny Malkin.
Uh-oh.
And I think this season and last season has put Sidney Crosby ahead of him because they were really neck and neck. All their numbers kind of looked alike, and Crosby went ahead of Malkin this past year.
Where is my prize? Yeah.
No prize today. It's on its way.
Yeah, look at the Rhode Island Broadcasting for that. At 4 for me. And if he had won a cup last year, I would have probably moved him higher. Connor McDavid, I put at 4. 350 goals, 681 assists, 1,031 points, a plus 161, 7-time All-Star, 5 Rosses, though. That's pretty damn impressive. 3 Hearts, 4 Pearsons, 1 Richard, and 1 Smythe. But I kept him out because of the cups. I didn't like the fact that he didn't win a cup, and the guys ahead of him did.
Yeah.
That was my number 4.
Yep.
Okay.
I have Connor McDavid.
Wow. Okay, so far.
And it is exactly for that. If he'd have at least 1 cup,
I would have moved him ahead of him.
He would have been probably number 2 at this point.
Agreed. He would have been up there. So that brings us to number 3, our number 3 in our starting 5. I had Alex Ovechkin, 868 goals, 707 assists, so 1,575 points, plus 60. I didn't like that number. I really thought it should have been higher. 12-time All-Star, 1 Ross, so he only won the scoring title once. 1 Calder, 3 Hart, 3 Pearson, 9 Richards, which was pretty damn impressive. 1 Smythe, and 1 Cup. Only 1 Cup. Monica, I guess you're not reading chats.
I guess you're not reading chats.
He's
reading chats.
But I'm saying that I want to help you out with streaming and stuff because I got the potential for streaming and you're just missing some. It's all right. Thank you for all the help. We appreciate the offer. Continue to watch, though, if you're enjoying what you see. Ron, what else? Who do you have at 3?
I have Alex Ovechkin at number 3.
What is going on tonight?
I thought we were going to be completely different.
I really did, too.
You know what, though? I got to give you credit because, I mean, you've come a long way in hockey.
I am getting there. I am. And I enjoy watching now. I watch it, too. So,
and it's for the pure skill factor outside of shooting.
Yeah.
That's why, other players are ahead of him here.
Yeah, agreed.
He can shoot and he can score. But, the rest of the game.
Yeah, agreed. In 1 cup. So at 2, Ron, your guy, Sidney Crosby, 602 goals, 1,033 assists, 1,635, a plus 212 in his career, 8-time All-Star, 2 Rosses, won it twice, 2 Hearts, 3 Pearsons, 2 Richards, 2 Smythe, 3 Cups.
I also have him at number 2, Eric.
Okay.
You knew he wasn't going to be number 1.
No, and I couldn't put him ahead of the.
Way.
I couldn't put him ahead of number 1. Jerome.
I couldn't.
Jaromir Jagr, 766 goals, 1,155 assists, 1,921 points, plus 322. That kind of helped as well. 8-time All-Star, 5 Rosses, so tied with McDavid for the most on this list. 3 Pearson, 1 Hart,
game-winning goals. Eric.
Yeah, he just such a phenomenal player. Masterson in the 2 Cups. So that was our starting 5. We actually had the same one. That's never happened. I don't think that's ever really happened.
Pretty good.
Congrats to us. Well, thank you again. If somebody's out there and is interested, Monica_Justin21 can do some logos for you. We appreciate the offer. All right, Ron, let's move on to some NBA. Great list, though. Great.
That was a great list.
Great hockey
and I'm impressed. Like I said, you nailed it.
I'm getting there, buddy. All right, so Luka Doncic out at least a month for the Dallas Mavericks. Do you think he's too injury prone to ever win a championship? Because I will say this, he's talented enough to. But the injuries, man, they just keep coming with this guy.
See, I don't know. I think. Look, I don't think the injuries are going to stop him from winning a championship. It is going to stop him from winning an MVP. That's for damn sure.
Cannot win the MVP and cannot be all NBA now because they'll be under the 65 games once this is all said and done.
And this is the year to do it, right? I mean,
here's where I disagree with you, Ron. Think about seeding for this team. And the more you're out, right, the more you're going to have to face the top of the conference every year. And I think that's what's hurting Dallas, because if they could be a 1 seed and you're playing the 10 seed, which ultimately becomes the 8 seed. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good argument. And it is true. I mean, I would much rather have to play the Lakers than, like OKC or Denver or somebody, right? You want to play a team that's not as good and not as deep. And they keep having to play those teams because of losing a month. If you lose a month out of your schedule and you don't have your star player, that puts you down to possibly in that conference, possibly even the play-ins.
Yeah. Which again, now more wear and tear on your body, more games, things that you don't want. So this is the same injury that he.
Thinking about that, I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. Same injury he had preseason, missed all of the preseason and training camp. He's already missed 8 games with a right knee contusion, a right wrist sprain, and a left heel contusion. Now he's got the left calf.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a bad year. Most games he's played was 72, and that was his rookie season.
Didn't realize that. That's alarming, right? I mean, we talk about Embiid with that problem, but should he not be in that same category?
Right. Look at Philly and how long it's taken them to get going now, because again, Embiid's been out and Paul George and some of these guys that have never won a championship. This is why. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown just won a championship. Those guys don't miss a lot of games.
No, they don't.
Right. And that's the difference sometimes. And that's why I think this hurts Dallas more than anything.
I don't think, does Tatum lose it for injuries, or is it just like a maintenance?
Usually they sit him. Yeah, usually they'll sit him for a game or two. But that's it, man. It's pretty interesting. So we'll see. 1 month.
Yeah. They're done.
At least.
They're done.
And then they got to reevaluate. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't think they go anywhere.
Does he ever win a championship run?
In this day and age, probably, because he probably goes somewhere else.
Some super team. Like, so he can
or
sit
maybe
the bench.
Some teams, somebody might join them.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call. All right, Ron.
Steph Curry?
Kenny thinks it'll hurt the team. Let's talk some Major League Baseball, Ron. I know you're so super excited. You probably jumped out of your seat when you heard it. Boston Red Sox have signed Walker Buehler. Do you think it's a good move for the team?
Well, it's a move. It's a move.
You've got action.
At least a positive move, right? I mean, look, he's getting a little older, and I get it. But he's still better than anything else they got.
So I didn't realize. So first of all, 30 years old, 1 year deal. So you're not really locked into him, but 21.05 million with an additional 2.5 in performance bonuses. So if he gets there, that's a good thing for the Sox, right?
Yeah.
Then that's a steal. 2 Tommy John surgeries though.
But again,
2 Tommy John. 2.
It doesn't wow me because it's only 1 year.
I will say this, Ron. So you guys that keep signing these guys with Tommy John, they said, we know what we got to do. We got to up it. So this guy, 2 Tommy Johns. If there's somebody out there with 3, be ready. They're signing.
All the Red Sox.
They're signing.
Well, why don't we just go out and get Tommy John?
Right? See if he'll come back. But so
he's only about 60 now.
Last season with the Dodgers, 1-6 and 16 starts, with 75.1 innings pitched, a 5.38 ERA.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Not very good. But in the postseason, much better. 1-1. Did record the last out in the World Series.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
like
the
the
Yankees blew.
move. I don't like the size. I don't like 1 year because it just gives the Red Sox an out. And if he has a great year, and we'll compare it to Waka,
Waka waka.
he has a great year. They don't re-sign him because now they have to spend more money. They're going to
Yeah.
keep doing this. They think this is the way to the promised land, reclamation projects.
Yeah. No.
They've got 3 of them on their team now that they just signed.
So you get Crochet, right, as probably a number 1. Bueller might be a number 2.
No,
Okay,
it'll be Houck
Bayo?
number 2.
Bayo?
It'll be Houck.
Bayo?
Houck.
Houck, Bayo, Bueller.
No, they're gonna pencil him in for number 3, and Bayo will be number 4.
And then don't forget Giolito coming back. Off Tommy John.
Yeah.
By the way.
I try not
Waka
to.
Flocka playing, Kenny. Yes, Waka Flocka playing. Waka Flocka playing. Gotta love the hip hop reference.
It's just what they do. Why didn't they go out and get Bieber instead of letting Cleveland resign? He was only $5 million more.
Justin?
Yes, Justin
Wow.
Bieber. Shane. From Cleveland. Cleveland resigns him for $5 million more. Instead of a reclamation project, you get Bieber, and it solidifies a rotation spot, right? You keep him in there for 5 years. I don't understand it. They're saying, they're going out and get these guys. They're all reclamation projects, and they're only signing a guy that's $4 or $5 million less than what they could have gotten a star player.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's asinine. It's asinine.
It's the Red Sox.
Pisses me off so bad.
Pisses
me off. Pisses me off.
All right. Do they piss you off? Juan Soto did the same thing.
No, the Red Sox knew they weren't going to get Juan Solo.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for Soto to come to New York. The Yankees come to the Bronx. That's going to be brutal. That is going to be a fun. Is that his cousin? Yeah, his cousin Shane Bieber. Oh, there we go. There we go. Shane Bieber and Justin Bieber on the Red Sox. All right. Ron, let's have some fun with some split decisions.
Kenny, you can go love yourself.
Ooh.
That's a Shane Bieber song.
I know it. Yes.
A Justin Bieber
song. We know. I know JB. Me and my man. You listen. All right. Split decision. Our split decision segment. Basically, we ask each other 2 more likely questions, and then we have to make a decision. If you have a split decision for us as well, anyone that's joining us live, please put it in the chat, and we'll definitely answer those as well. Ron, my first split decision. Which Red Sox starter is more likely to have more wins this upcoming season? Garrett Crochet, Walker Bueller, or Brayan Bello, who led the team last year with 14 wins?
Wow, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I'm going to say Crochet.
I think they're hoping that's what happens.
Because if Bello can get 14 again, and Crochet does get more,
20,
they're a playoff team.
Yeah, they probably are.
Because you also have Tanner Houck, who pitched better than any of them. You didn't get the wins.
Yeah.
So if that happens, if Crochet can be the team leader in wins with, say, 16, the Red Sox are a playoff team.
Danny seems to think Walker Bueller is who he's going with. Walker
Bueller. He could. I think he's got the skill for it. It just see what scares me is, was he playing hurt with that 1-7 record with the 5+ ERA? I don't know, because that's not characteristic of Bueller. He's been a great pitcher up until last year, really.
again, you're still working your way back into that Tommy John. So we'll see. So, Ron, your first split decision.
All right, seeming we were talking about baseball, I might as well do this one first, right? Who is more likely to bring their team to the postseason? These three teams did not make the postseason. I don't think they did anyway.
Okay.
Walker Buehler
For the Red Sox.
of the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
Willie Adames from San Francisco. Or Yusei Kikuchi from the Los Angeles Angels. It's hard to say that name without giggling.
Angels, I don't think have a shot at all. San Francisco probably has a better shot.
Are you sure they don't have a shot?
I don't think that. Nah, I don't.
Because
trust the
don't
Angels.
forget, Houston is losing players.
Yeah, but I just don't. I don't like them. I still think Seattle's better in the West.
That's
There.
True. That's true.
San Francisco, I think, has a better shot. It's still not an easy shot, but they could probably get to the number 2 and make the postseason. I'd go San Francisco. I think Boston too. You got too many good teams in the AL East. Like every year, the Rays somehow are still in it. I don't know how they do it. And you still got Baltimore, and then obviously the Yankees and Walker Buehler.
Bueller.
Fry. All right, Ron.
Great job, though, Danny. You're right on the ball here.
This one is going to blow your mind. This split decision might be the split decision of all split decisions. What's his name, Ron? What's his name, Ron? Are you ready, Ron? Your second split decision. And if you didn't know this, that this is what's going to blow your mind. Brad Marchand is currently the active leader in plus minus in the NHL at 294. So an active player at 294. Is he more likely to finish his career higher or lower than 294? You think he's going higher?
Higher.
Isn't he a minus
Absolutely.
this season?
What?
He's a minus this season, is he not?
He won't be by the end of the year.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Have you seen how well he's playing right now?
I'm just saying. I'm asking a question.
He's putting a lot of pressure on Boston Bruins right now because if the Bruins were tanking, he'd probably be gone because he's a free agent at the end of the year. So now they're going to have a hard decision on what to do with him because he's almost forcing them to re-sign him. He's playing well.
Danny thinks higher as well. All right. Brad Marchand
higher. He's a hell of a player. One of the best in the league, to be honest with you.
Good. When I saw that, I'm like, active. He's the only one. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
He'll finish above 300.
Okay. That'd be a hell of a career. Ron, your second split decision.
My second split decision is if the playoffs started today in the NFL, who would more likely advance? Pittsburgh Steelers, LA Chargers, or the Denver Broncos? Who would most likely advance?
Who were the team? Pittsburgh? I was reading Danny's message.
Pittsburgh, Chargers, or Denver? Right now, those are all the wild card teams.
Steelers are done. I think they're on that. They hit a cliff, and I think they're sinking fast. I'm not going Pittsburgh.
Well, they would have to play Houston
if it ended today.
I still think today,
Houston, better defense. I think they could beat Houston. I'm gonna go Chargers here because I just have more faith in them than the Broncos.
Chargers would have to play Baltimore,
who chokes every year in the postseason. And listen, the Harbaugh brothers. I think Jim's beating his brother every time.
Wouldn't that be intriguing, huh? Both coaches.
Jim beats John every time. I think he's 5-0 against them.
Yeah.
Beat him in the Super Bowl. It's the other way around though. The break. Yeah, never mind. Oh boy, I'd still go Chargers. Danny thinks the Broncos. Danny, we're not having a competition right now, buddy. So there's no right answers because we don't know what the right answer is. So there's no prize,
he's just
buddy.
giving his opinion.
His opinion. There's no prizes to be won on this one.
So he thinks Denver would beat Buffalo, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no way that's happening. Well, you never know, I guess.
You never know. That's why they play the games, my friend. That's why they play the games.
Well, why does Kansas City play the games then?
Because they got to buy.
We know they're winning, right? Because,
nothing's guaranteed, buddy.
12 on 11 doesn't help.
Here we go. All right, let's talk some NHL. Your guy, David Pastrnak, he suffered an injury in his last game against the Capitals. Should the Bruins be concerned? Could this affect they're playing better hockey now?
They're playing a lot better.
Taking him out of the lineup. We don't know how serious the injury is yet. Could this hurt them? And I was happy to see that it was Tom Wilson, your guy. You love Tom Wilson, who caused the injury. So.
Yeah, that ain't going to sit well for the Bruins come next game they play against them. Somebody's going after him. Look, he's already been skating in the morning skate today. I don't think this is a big deal at all. They could possibly hold him back for this game just to make sure. But I would see him back in the lineup within a game or two. Look, Pasta's pretty tough considering, he's, one of the elite players and stays away from, a lot of that tough guy routine, right? But he can handle himself. He does check very well. So he can still hit and have that skill part of the game, right? So I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think the injury is that bad. I could see maybe a game or two, and just to be on the safe side, and we'll see what happens. I don't think it's a big deal, though.
Danny's just trying to fire you up. He ain't retiring at 28 years old. Leads the team in points and assists, second in goals. Again, you think about Boston's positioning right now, third in the division in the Atlantic, 2 points ahead of Tampa Bay, who's starting to play some better hockey as well, and only 2 points behind Toronto. So realistically, this team, they could make some moves. Again, just interesting story coming out of Boston, but they never give you any indication of how serious it is. Yeah, that could be
upper body. So with an upper body,
rib,
it looks like
maybe
he could have gotten, could have been a concussion or, something to do with his shoulder. The way the check that I saw looked, it might have been, he might have tweaked his shoulder of some sort, and just a precaution. So they held him out of the game. And if he's skating today, he's probably, I would say I can see them keeping him out of today's game. But after that, I think he's in. After that,
a hockey player's
I
always
don't think
tough
it's a problem.
Guys have
Not
strokes on this. Guys
He's a
have
hockey
strokes
player.
on the bench. Yeah, they have strokes on the bench. They come back and play.
Yeah.
The same game.
Lungs,
same game.
It is. Broken ribs.
Same game. All right, Ron, let's move on to our pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
Tonight's pick and roll in dedication to Ricky Henderson. We did the 5 guys under Ricky Henderson in stolen base leaders.
I don't know why you didn't include him
in Major League Baseball history, because we gave him love. We're letting Ricky, he'd be our number 1 guy today, even if he wouldn't have been on this list. He is today. All right. And those 5 players, Lou Brock, Billy Hamilton, which there were 2 of them. We learned that today. Ty Cobb, Tim Raines, and Vince Coleman. We're going to rank them from 5 to 1. I am first tonight, so I will start us off. At 5 for me, Vince Coleman. Batted .264, 1,425 hits, 28 home runs, 849 runs, 346 RBIs. I didn't even think that's possible.
He was good for a short period of time.
Yeah, 752 stolen bases though. So when he got on base, he was definitely making sure he made some noise there. 2 All-Stars and a Rookie of the Year. but 5 clearly on the board. At 4, Billy Hamilton, number 1, 344 batting average. These guys back in the old days, man, you got to love those batting averages. 2,164 hits, 40 home runs, 1,697 runs, 742 RBIs, 914 stolen bases, and 1 batting title. Came in at number 4. At 3, Tim Raines batted 294 for his career, 2,605 hits, 170 home runs, 1,571 runs, 980 RBIs, 808 stolen bases, 7-time All-Star, 1 Silver Slugger, 1 batting title, and 2 championships. Tim Raines, not a bad player. But at 2,
very good player.
Very good player. Went at 2, Lou Brock, batted 293, 3,023 hits, 149 home runs, 1,610 runs, 900 RBIs, 938 stolen bases. He is number 2 all time. Ricky Henderson, 1406, by the way. 6 All-Stars, 1 Roberto Clemente Award, a Major League Baseball Player of the Year, and 2 championships. Clearly, though, the man, the myth, the legend, every time we've done these lists, he seems to be number 1. Ty Cobb, 366 batting average, 4,189 hits, second all time, 117 home runs, 2,245 runs, 1,944 RBIs is absolutely insane.
I mean, when you look at these numbers, 4,100 runs produced by this man. 4,100.
Insane. 897 stolen bases, only 12 batting titles. I mean,
that's all.
1 MVP and 1 Triple Crown. Ty Cobb, my number 1 in my pick and roll.
So think of this. How about this for a number, right? Ty Cobb with those 12 batting titles. If you combine all the other players, he's 10 ahead of them.
Not bad.
Right?
He's pretty
right?
Good. He's pretty good.
All right. So if it was the Billy Hamilton number 2, he would have been at the bottom of the list. And I'm like, why the hell is this guy on this list? But number 5 was Vince Coleman. He clearly is far behind all of these players. Way behind. Now, like I said, he had a couple of good years where he was dominant on the base pads, and he was a pretty nice player. I'm not saying he's chopped liver, but against these guys, he's chopped liver.
not saying he's chopped liver, but with these guys chopped liver.
Chopped liver. Number 4, I have Billy Hamilton as well. It was really close between him and Tim Raines, though, for me.
Yeah, agreed. The batting average.
Tim Raines had those championships, so it was close. But Tim Raines definitely was number 3 for me. Those 7 All-Stars and 2 World Series really makes a difference, even though Billy Hamilton did not have the opportunity to play in All-Star games. Did you know his last season was 1901? That was his last season.
Wow.
1901. No All-Star games. No nothing. They didn't have Silver Sluggers and all of these things. I don't even think they had Gold Gloves back then either.
Probably not.
So, number 2, Lou Brock. Right? His numbers are great. Like, I would take this guy over many players that have come through Boston. Many players. 3,000 hits. I mean, you're looking at the batting average, 293. That is solid. That's a solid player right there. And, of course, those 938 stolen bases don't hurt.
Not bad.
And, when you look at it, he's a run machine, right? So 1,600 runs. And as a leadoff hitter, he still had 900 RBI. That's pretty damn good for a leadoff guy. But like you said, far beyond everybody on this list is Ty Cobb. You gave the numbers. They're incredible. I would have Ricky at number 2.
Yeah, agreed. Hey, you know what this means? Both lists the same this
Both
week.
lists the same.
Wow. Uh-oh. That's
scary,
a little scary.
isn't it?
That is a little scary. That is a little scary.
Scary. You're going to the dark side, Eric.
I know. Oh, boy. Do want to mention that our polls are open right now at Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page for our Hall of Fame. So if you'd like to nominate and elect the next players in the Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame, go to that page and cast your votes right now. Phil Esposito leading in the baseball, the hockey, and then also Lindsey Vaughn leading in the Olympics. So again, if you have
who I
other
voted
players,
for.
yeah. So take a look at that and let's see. Yeah. Let's see what you come up with. That's on Facebook. The Sports Unfolded Sports Poll page. Cast your votes now to help elect the next inductee into the Sports Unfolded
get on
Hall
there.
of Fame.
Follow everything. You got that, Danny boy?
So we have predictions. We have people out there tonight. So we better get some participation on this. Last week, only me and Ron. So we tied. It's pretty safe to say that next week, even if I picked all of them wrong, Ron, I think I got you.
I don't think so, Eric.
There's 8.
If you did all of them wrong and 8. I get all of them right,
you'd fall short.
Would be like 1 or 2.
I'm still ahead of you.
Difference.
Yeah, I'm still ahead of you.
But you missed some, so just saying.
Well, that's your fault. You were supposed to give me more. You didn't do it. That's on you, Eric. My prize will come tomorrow, Monday. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. So again, you could get another prize, Danny, if you beat us and get more than anybody else. So we're going to start our predictions.
Most likely Monday or Tuesday because he's in LA.
Yeah. So we are going to start off with some basketball, NBA. Big game coming up tonight. Cleveland Cavaliers at the Denver Nuggets. As Denver's playing better now. They're starting to kind of, but they lost on Christmas. Cleveland, 4 losses all season, just playing great basketball. I went with Cleveland here.
All right, so I am going to go Denver, grasping at straws right now, because I think Cleveland's going to win, but I'm going Denver.
You just want to try to tighten it up so it looks a little better.
I'm trying.
Anybody else out there? Who do you have tonight? Cleveland Cavaliers at the Denver Nuggets. Kenny's got the Cavs. Danny's got the Cavs. Anybody else out there want to put a pick in before we move on? All right. The other NBA game on the 29th, you got the Memphis Grizzlies at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Your pick.
Yes, is Ja Morant injured?
I don't. Oh, James joining.
James is there with Cleveland.
All right.
See, I think you're gonna go OKC, and it makes me want to pick Memphis. But I really don't think Memphis is gonna win this game, so I'm gonna go OKC.
I also went OKC. James went OKC. I agree with you. Denver, though, Memphis, 155 points. I think one of the last games, they really started to. But there's already some trade talks and things in Memphis. I don't know what's going on there. Danny, you have a pick? Memphis Grizzlies at the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunder. Gotta love AC/DC.
Oh, Danny go Memphis.
Maybe I should do that. God damn it.
All right. Tomorrow in the NHL, got the New Jersey Devils at the Carolina Hurricanes. Devils, listen, as much as they've kind of figured some things out and playing pretty good hockey, but I'm going Carolina at home.
All right, I'm going to go New Jersey, Eric. I still think that Carolina is going to win, but I'm going to go New Jersey.
Just making more work for me. That's all you're doing.
So what do I have to do if I lose?
We discussed it afterwards. That's what we did last time. There'll be some kind of
Because I got to order it.
All right.
And I don't want the snail mail again.
Oh yeah, the last time. James went Jersey. Danny went New Jersey. Kenny went New Jersey.
Woo!
All right.
That's bad for me.
All right. Also on the 28th, you got the Washington Capitals at the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is your pick.
Washington's coming off of that loss to Boston. I'm going to pick Washington on this.
Yeah, you know what? Toronto actually getting really good goaltending.
Yeah, that's about it.
But I don't know. Washington losing Ovechkin, I think all those guys learned to play better together. I went the Capitals as well.
They're gonna suck when Ovechkin comes back,
right? It's going to change that, right? Yeah, I think they're playing better. Yeah.
They're going to keep feeding Ovechkin
because they want to get him the shots, get that goal record.
Because before he went out, they were terrible.
Danny went Toronto. James went Washington. Kenny. Yeah, I think you're right. As soon as he comes back, I think it's going to hurt him.
Yeah, I think they're going to.
It's like a really good,
that record, and
it's like a really good wide receiver. Like a wide receiver starts that the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Yep. Red Leafs.
All right, Kenny. Kenny getting on the emoji kick. NFL action on the 29th. They get the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Listen, I love Green Bay. I really like what Love's doing. I love what Love's doing. But I'm not going to shy away from Minnesota. And I think I got to admit, I think they're for real. I think they're playing really good football. So I went Minnesota at home. Till Green Bay proves they can beat one of them. Detroit
I really wanted to go Green Bay, but I can't. I can't do it.
It's tough.
I think Minnesota is a much better team.
Kenny's going Packers.
I went with
James
the
went
Vikings as well. I'm not going to be able to catch you because now I'm sure Minnesota's winning this game.
And Danny went Minnesota. Plus, listen, they're still playing for first. They could get the 1 seed. Minnesota's still alive for the 1 seed.
I know. And they want it.
Yeah. At the, also on the 29th, you got the Atlanta Falcons at the Washington Commanders.
Washington. Look, Washington's not even in a playoff spot yet.
Yes.
They're in a playoff spot, but they're not clinched. They haven't clinched yet.
No.
So they have something to play for, and they're gonna beat Atlanta.
Yeah, listen, you're going 2 rookies, Jaden Daniels versus Michael Penix Jr. Much better competition now against Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. I went Washington here. They're a better team.
That one has a chance to be ugly.
James went Washington.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be even close, to be honest with you. I don't think it's close. All right, what are we waiting for? James and Kenny.
No, Kenny and Dan.
Oh.
James picked Washington.
Oh, Dan and Ken. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
I will say this. It's a fun game, though, because rookie versus rookie.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one.
Should be Kirk Cousins, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Danny went Washington. I wonder if we're on a small delay on YouTube because James answering pretty fast. But yeah, that must be what it is. Kenny went Washington as well. Excuse me.
Kenny's always on a delay.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. January 1st, 2025 already, Ron. College football playoffs.
Wow.
Number 8, Ohio State Buckeyes at number 1, Oregon Ducks.
I'm taking it's not my turn.
It is, isn't it?
No, you're first.
I went Oregon. I listen, there's so much talk with Ohio State, and they're a mess. Are they going to fire Day? And I think that's just going to affect this team and how they play. So I went Oregon.
Yeah, I went Oregon too. Look, they're the number one team right now. Ohio State has dropped to the 8th seed, right? I mean, when you think about that, they haven't really finished off this year very well.
James, Oregon. Kenny and Danny went Ohio State. Wow. Okay. All right. The other big matchup in the college football playoffs, number 7, Notre Dame Fighting Irish at number 2, Georgia Bulldogs. Who do you have, Ron?
I'm going Georgia.
Georgia.
I'm going Georgia. Like, they're the team that you have to beat, right? I mean, it took everything to like knock them out of the one spot. And here they are. They're at number 2. They might not lose another game.
I just think Notre Dame playing Indiana didn't help them because that wasn't I don't think Indiana was that good.
No.
Georgia off now the bye. And again, I think that a little bit of taste in their mouth from that Alabama, not the Alabama loss, the Texas loss. So,
Yep. Yeah. They haven't lost since then, right?
With Michigan Wolverines, yeah, back in the day. What do you got? Number 7, Notre Dame Fighting Irish at number 2. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. James is going.
Mott Dame. Yeah, I got Georgia. I don't think they're going to lose another game.
Notre Dame. Wow. Kenny.
I think they're going to run it all the way.
They win the national title.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just wait on Kenny, and then we'll get to our in the Memorium here, buddy. We'll finish off with our final thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, Fighting Irish at the Bulldogs, Georgia. What do you have? All right.
And these are tough games. All of these games could go either way.
Yeah, this was a good week. All right. So while we wait for Kenny to answer, again, follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, MeWe. Again, all audio platforms as well. So if you don't have time to watch, you can always listen. All that be on that ticker right down at the bottom there, so you can figure out. You get another prize based on how your results come out, Danny. So again, tune in to any of those different platforms, radio stations, again, TV station, all different ways you can like, share, follow us, and watch us. Email us at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com if you'd like to become a sponsor and get your name put right up on that banner right above us.
Look at this.
No, right, to sponsor the show, right? So again, continue to look for sponsors. Great way for you to have thousands of eyes and ears on your business every week. So, give us an opportunity to do that. Just simply email us and we will give you all the information on how you could get your name on that banner. Again,
so sponsor the show. Your ad will be here. We will read the ad, so not only will people see it, but it will be heard on the audio version for Spotify, Amazon, Red Circle, and many more. So send us an email at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com, and we can send the media kit out to you.
Yes, sir. So very, very special show tonight. We end every year with us having a remembrance of all the athletes that we lost, those that are joining us live. As you hear these names, if any of them, strike a chord, let us know, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of names out there. Maybe you don't even remember athletes that we lost in 2024. This is always a difficult list for us, Ron. I appreciate you putting this together every year. This is our 4th year doing this, and it doesn't get any easier. So,
my stomach is doing turnovers right now from this. Just knowing what I got to do.
You are in control here, my friend, for the last bit of the show. This is Sports Unfolded in Memoriam. And Ron, take it away.
All right. So you may not know a lot of these athletes, and we do all the sports. So the first one, pole vaulters. Yes, pole vaulting. Sean Barber, 29 years old. He was the Canadian or American. He's both, dual citizen, but he won the world championships in 2015. Passed away, 29 years old. Shooting. Laszlo Hammerl. I think that's how it's pronounced, so bear with me. Olympic gold in 1964. He also won a silver in 1968 and a bronze in a different shooting event in 1964 as well. So he won 2 in 64, two medals in that year. Cricket. Doug Padgett, 89 years old, played on the English national team. Ali Zia, 66, Bangladesh. John McMahon, Australian national team and Queensland. Dada Gakwad, 95, Indian national team. Robin Hobbs, 81, the English national team and Essex. Speed skating. Carl Eric Asplund. He was 100 years old.
Wow.
Swedish Olympic bronze medal in 1952. I think that's 52. And Mary Myers, 78, American, won silver in 1968. 1968, yes. Olympic silver. Broadcasting and journalism, right? David Morrow, 71. He's a Rugby Hall of Fame broadcaster. And we cannot forget Chris Mortensen from ESPN. I mean, that's our alley, right, Eric?
Mhm.
I mean, how many years did we watch Chris Mortensen?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Tennis player Rosie Reyes, 84, Mexican Olympian. Vic Seixas, it's got an X in there. 100 years old, though. 100 years old. 1953 Wimbledon champion. U.S. national champ in 1954. He's got 5 Grand Slams in doubles. Swimming. Lanes Laren, 83, an Olympic gold in 1960. Joanna Neves, 37, Brazilian Paralympic silver in 2016. David Wilkie, 70, Scottish Olympic gold in 1976. World Championship gold in the 200 meter and gold in the 100 meter. The 200 meter is both in 1973 and 1975. So basically 3 gold medals in world champs. And Carolyn Schuler, 81, 2 Olympic golds and part of the record in relay in 1960. Broke the record as part of the team in 1960. All right, weightlifting. Rema Lisa Rumbawaz, Indonesia silver in 2000 and 2004, 43 years old. 43. Golf. Jack Burke Jr., 100 years old, Hall of Fame PGA champ. 1956 won that champion. And also won in 1956 the Masters. Mark Carnival. 64 years old, PGA Tour winner and commentator for Sirius XM. He also won a Rookie of the Year in 1992 when he was on the tour. Peter Oosterhuis, 75, British Open champion in 1974, and 6 Ryder Cup champions. 6-time Ryder Cup. Wow. Grayson Murray. I don't know if you remember this one. 30 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. 2-time PGA winner. Suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one to hear about. I remember that story. And
we did it. We did that story. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I didn't realize that I know we said something about it, but it didn't feel like it was this year. Chichi Rodriguez, 88 years old, and I remember he's probably the one golfer that I like to watch because every time he sank the ball in the hole, he would do the little sword fighting thing.
Yep.
Right? 88 years old. Players Championship in 1986, and he Senior Championship in 1987. So he followed it up from the regular tour to the Senior Tour. He was very, very notable. Wrestling, right? Pro wrestling. Mongolian Mauler, who was 62. Ice Train. I don't know if you remember Ice Train. 56 years old, WCW, CWA. Ice Train. And Kevin Sullivan, 75 years old, from he was NWA and WCW. And I can't believe this one. And both Afa and Sika both died from the Wild Samoans. They both died this year.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Different days, but they both died. Afa was 81, Sika 79, the Wild Samoans. Like when you talk about, like this bloodline thing that they have now, with Roman Reigns and all these others. I mean, that's where the Samoans really came to note. Sid Vicious, 63 years old, WWE, WCW champion. And I did not know this one happened. Virgil, 72 years old, from the WWF, WCW. I didn't realize that one happened. This is hard. Fencing, Daniel Revenue, 81, French Olympic gold medalist in 1968. Jacques Lefebvre, 95, 1952 bronze medal, French. And Carlos Pedroso, 57, Cuban Olympic bronze in fencing. Gymnast, Marty Miusika, 90, Finnish bronze, 1956 for Finland. Bodybuilders, Matthias Pavlak, 19 years old.
Oof.
Died of a heart attack. He was the U23 category Mr. Blumenau. 19 years old, having a heart attack. And Ilya Golem, 36, Czechoslovakian. Track. So these are all the runners and sprinters and all of that stuff. Carmen Valero, 68. Kelvin Kiatum, 24 years old, Kenyan marathon world record holder, 24. Traffic collision.
Ugh.
Losing a star in their sport from a traffic collision. Unbelievable. Vance Mackey, 101 years old, Canadian bronze Olympic medalist. This was, it could be Michelle or Michael, Jazzy. I know, thinking of Michel Goulet from Quebec Nordiques. I'm thinking it is Michelle because it's spelled the same way. French Olympic silver medalist, 87 years old. Bob Scholl, 86 years old, won the gold in 1964 5,000 meter. And he also was an athlete at Miami University. Rebecca Cheptegei. I think we covered this story. 33 years old, Ugandan Olympian. If we didn't cover it, I don't know how we missed this one. Her boyfriend, she died from her boyfriend attacked her and lit her on fire.
Oof.
She had burns on 75% of her body. And then she just, she was in the hospital for a while and she didn't make it. That's unbelievable. It's stunning. It's stunning. I was reading the story today and I was appalled. It was disgusting. Gurdev Singh, 90, Indian Olympic champion in 1956 for field hockey. Fleur van Doren, Dutch national team, died from euthanasia in field hockey. Look, I mean, these are tough times, for a lot of people, holidays. If you need to talk to someone, please reach out to somebody. Please. Because nobody might know that you're feeling this way. So you've got to do something. And it's a sad thing to have that stigma over your head and not tell anybody how you're feeling. Cycling. Luigi Arienti, 87 years old, Italian Olympic champion in 1960. Raymond Elena, 92, French cyclist. Sailing. Barton Janke. Jonky. I don't know how to pronounce this. There's too many consonants in this name. But 84 years old, 1968 Olympic champion in sailing. Horse racing. All right. First, we'll talk about some of the horses. Hardy Eustace was a 27-year-old horse. Irish. I don't know if it, the nationality really matters, but that's where it was. Falbrav, also Irish. Jimmy Chow, New Zealand. And Papineau from the UK. British. Eskinderix, 17, was an American horse. And Lemon Drop Kid. Do you remember that one?
That one sounds familiar.
I remember Lemon Drop Kid. That was... and Limestone Lad, also another horse from Ireland. 31 years old, though.
Oh.
A nice life. It's pretty good. Also, Walter Blum, 89, Hall of Fame jockey, Belmont Stakes in 1971. And David Hoffman's, 87, was a trainer and won the Belmont in 1997 with Touch Gold and a 3-time Breeders' Cup winner. All right, rugby. Startling, this has a lot of people. John Elford, 76. Australian national team, Pierre Montlauer, 60. French national team, Don McKay, 86. New Zealand national team and Auckland. Peter Glynn, 71. English national team, Paul Schultz, New Zealand's national team. Another one from English national team, Bev Dovey, 85. Also, Chris Wardlow, 81. Reese Duncan, Australian national team. Let's see if there's any more Australian. No, okay. John Wackett. I don't name the people. John Wackett from the English national team. Malcolm Alka, also from English national team. And as well as Peter Glover and Phil Lowe. John Bond from New Zealand. Also Duncan Hales from New Zealand. And from the Irish national teams, JPR Williams and also Malcolm Price. Cricket. Sumo wrestler. Axbono Taro, 54 years old. Junior grand champion, first non-Japanese to achieve his rank of Yokozuna in 1993. So he's the first non-Japanese sumo. He is from Hawaii.
Okay.
Archery, Butch Johnson, 68, five-time Olympian, and won the gold in 1996. Boxing, Alicia Graf, 43 years old, Belarus, born German, was the WIBF super flyweight champion from 2008 to 2009. Francisco Rodriguez, 78, Venezuelan gold medal in the Olympics of 1968. Here's one you will remember, surfing, Tameo Perry, 49, a shark attack. He was the guy that was on Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. So he's got part actor, part surfer. Let me see what else we got now. All right, so we're going to do the coaches. Mike Martin, 79, Baseball College Hall of Fame, Florida State. Don Reed, 90 years old, Oregon Ducks. Bill Latchman, 84, coach of the Los Angeles Angels. Paul Thurio, 73, from the Buffalo Sabres. Andy Brandy, 72, college tennis coach, also coached for the Florida Gators and LSU. Lefty Driesell, 92, Hall of Fame basketball coach for Maryland and Davidson. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Moses, 69, UCLA, Pittsburgh, and the St. Louis Rams. Bill Neal, 92, from Indiana and Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Larry Baytall, 81, coached football at Louisiana Tech. Don Donaher, 86, Hall of Famer, coached basketball at Dayton. Tates Locke, 87, basketball coach at Army, Clemson, and Indiana. Frank Card, 85, figure skating coach, Hall of Famer. He was the coach for Michelle Kwan and Evan Lysacek.
Oh, wow.
Michelle Kwan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Al Addles, 87, Hall of Fame basketball coach NBA championship 1975 with Golden State Warriors. Claude Gilbert coached at San Diego State and San Jose State. Rick Duquette, 66, basketball at Grambling. Jerry Wampfler, 91, coached at Philadelphia, Green Bay, and the Detroit Lions. And then Monty Kiffin, 84, Hall of Fame basketball coach, national championship in 1975. NBA championship. Wait, nope. NCAA championship. I kind of went between two of them. From 1970 and 71 for Nebraska. All right. Now I believe it is just the four main sports. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. All right. So let's do the NHL first. Jerry James, 89, Toronto Maple Leafs, Hall of Fame. Wait, Hall of Famer. Gene, I can't read my writing. It's hockey, so it's probably not Gene. It's Jean-Guy Talbot, 91 from Montreal, St. Louis, and Buffalo. Don Poyle, 91, played for Detroit Red Wings. Blaine Latcher, 53, played for the Boston Bruins. Tim Ecclestone, 76, played for St. Louis, Detroit, and the Atlanta Flames. David Conklin, 68, sled hockey player, won Paralympic gold in 2002. Connie Madiga, 89, played for the St. Louis Blues. Glenn Cochran, 65, played for Philadelphia, Vancouver, and Chicago Blackhawks. Mo Leab, 76, Chicago Blackhawks. Konstantin Kolstov, 42 years old, played for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Chris Simon, 52, played for the Washington Capitals, Quebec Nordiques, and the New York Islanders. He did win a Stanley Cup, and he died by suicide. There's a lot of those in here, and that's kind of alarming. Paul Masnick, 92, played for Montreal, Toronto, and the Chicago Blackhawks. So Chicago Blackhawks took a big hit this year. Big hit. Dave Forbes, 75, from the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals. Ron Ellis, 79. Stanley Cup in 1967. Four-time All-Star from the Toronto Maple Leafs. And last but not least, Johnny Gaudreau, 31, along with his brother and a friend. Seven-time All-Star, Calgary and Columbus. What a loss. What a loss that is. That is just, it's brutal. It's hard to even fathom that happened. I don't know what to do next because they're all bad. They're all bad. I guess we'll do NBA. Jim Rowinski, 63, from Detroit and Philly. Earl Curiton, 66, from Philly, Detroit, Chicago, two-time champion. Bad. Robert Reed, 68, Houston, Charlotte, and Portland. Dave Gunther, 86, from Detroit, San Francisco. With San Francisco Warriors back then. Detroit's taken a lot, as is Philly. Walt Wesley, 79, from the Cincinnati Royals. And Chicago and Cleveland as well. Frank Selvey, 91. Joe Bryant, 69.
That was
I mean,
Kobe's. That was Kobe's.
Yeah.
Dad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Kobe's
I
dad.
mean, it's that family has a lot of tragedies.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Moores from the LA Lakers and the LA Clippers. This is another one of those ethanol, hydrocodone, and cocaine were the problems that caused his death. But it's a problem that people need to help these. If you see people doing this stuff, please, by all means, you need to say something. You know, you need to help them. Carl Kane, 89, played for Freeport and Iowa schools, and 1956 gold medalist. Chet Walker, 84, seven-time All-Star champion in 1967, played for Philly and Chicago. Ozzie Virgil, 92, the first Dominican. Oh, sorry, that's in the wrong category. But he's from the MLB, first Dominican in the MLB. I will mention it again. Oh God, where do you go from here? Dikembe Mutombo, 58 years old.
No.
That's about as best as I can do for him. When somebody does that, you just automatically think Dikembe Mutombo. Jerry West, 86 years old, 14-time All-Star, Hall of Fame. I mean, the list goes on and on.
It's the logo.
Yeah. And, of course, Bill Walton, 71 years old, two-time champion, Boston and Portland. That's a tough one. I mean, he's part of the fabric of Boston history.
I would say television too, Ron. You think about him as a commentator. He was just he made everything fun.
He's a personality, right? I mean, you look back at him, it's like you just see that smile, that grin from ear to ear.
Mm-hmm.
Goofy, but what a hell of a basketball player and commentator, like you said. He drew a lot of people to the game.
That one hit Kenny. Yeah,
I'm sure it did. This is why it's tough to read off it. And, that's why I save certain people for the end of, their sport. I don't like doing either of these. I don't know what I want to do first. Have I done soccer yet?
No.
I didn't do soccer yet. So let's do soccer. I'm not a huge soccer fan, huge soccer viewer. I like watching World Cup, and all those tournaments that go on. I've been paying a lot more attention to it.
Greg Gumbel died today?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? He was good. He was good. I have no words, and I know I'm going to do these soccer players.
78, Greg Gumbel.
I'm going to do the soccer players. There's going to be a lot of people that are into soccer, and when you think about it's a global game, And it's just in its infant stages here in the United States, really. When these names are read, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to know these players. So I'm going to try to get through all of them pretty quick because we got to get under 2 hours. So I have to get through them. All right. Angel Castellanos from Spain. Mario Zagallo, 92, Brazil. I know there's a bunch of Brazil in here, so let me just see if I can find some of them. Okay, so Alberto Festa, 84, from Portugal. There's a lot of those, too, from Portugal. Portugal got hit pretty hard this year. Artur Jorge, 78, from Benfica, and also the Portugal national team. Rui Rodriguez, now I've heard of him. He's 80 years old. Portugal national team and Academica. Alexander Baptista, 83, from Portugal national team and Sporting CP. Minervino Pietra, 70 years old, Portuguese national team and Benfica. Also, Antonio Pacheco from Benfica as well. So they've taken a lot. Franz Beckenbauer, 78, from Bayern and the German national team. There's a lot of Belgians as well. Franz Janssen, 78. Let me see. Louis Lambert, 92. Looking down the list real quick. There is Stephen Labut, 46, Australian national team, suicide. Alex South, 93, from Liverpool. Tommy Baldwin, 78, Chelsea, Arsenal, and the Seattle Sounders. Giuliano Musiello, Italian national team, and he also played for Roma and Atalanta. Jean Petit, 74, French national team in Monaco. Serhii Razak, Abalon, Kiev, and Minsk. Luis Tejada, 41, Panama national team. Hector Sanabria, 78, Mexican national team. Also, Francisco Jara, 82 years old, from the Mexican national team. Leif Erikson from the Norway national team. He was 83. Luciano Alfieri, Italian national team and AC Milan. He was 87. Also from the Italian national team, Giacomo Losi, 88. Court Hamrin, 89, from the Swedish national team. Miguel Angel from Spain, played for Real Madrid. Roland Grip from the Swedish national team, AIK and IK Sirius. Peter Lay, 84, English, played for Manchester City. Ian McMillan, Scottish national team, 92. Stan Bowles, English national team, he was 75. Also, Larry Lloyd from that team, of the English national team. And Ulrich Lefebvre, 77 from the Danish national team. Leon Semmeling, Belgian, Standard Liège, and the national team. Andre van Herp, 90 from the Belgian national team and KAA Gent. Alejandro Semenux, Argentine national team, and Marone. George Eastham, 88, played for Arsenal and, of course, the national team for England. Bernd Holzenbein, 78, German national team, won a World Cup in 1974 rather, sorry. Played for Eintracht Frankfurt and had 160 all-time leader for goals for Frankfurt.
Wow.
Per Henriksen, 72, Norway, FK, Amaral, just Amaral, 69, played for Giorgini, Corinthians, and Leones, I can't read, Negros, it's Black Lions in English. He played for the Black Lions. Salvatore Senelacci won a FIFA World Cup. Nope, he didn't win the cup. He was the top scorer in the World Cup in 1990, and he won the Golden Boot. The team came in third. They won the bronze. That is soccer. You have a preference between baseball and football?
Either one's fine.
All right, we're in the home stretch. We got two more sports. Football. Michael Hicks, 51, Chicago. Frank Ryan, 87, from the Rams and Cleveland and Washington. Alonzo Johnson, 60, Philadelphia Eagles. Tavares Washington, 40, from the Kansas City Chiefs. Rich Castor, 75, from New York Jets, Houston Oilers, and Washington. Tony Hudson, 49, Dallas and Washington. Marty Ansler, 81, Chicago, Cincinnati, Green Bay. Rod Sherman, 79, Oakland, Cincinnati, Denver. Sharon Pearson, 41, Oakland and Chicago. Bob Gators, 85, New York Giants, San Francisco, and Denver. Fulton Kai Kendall, 70, from Atlanta and San Francisco. Terry Beasley, also from San Francisco. Jim McCandless, 88, from the Houston Oilers. Kent Kramer, 79, Philly, Minnesota, and New Orleans. Golden Richards, 73, Dallas, Chicago, and Denver, Super Bowl MVP in 1978. Bob Lanzi, 59, from Philly. Steve Okanuski, Green Bay, Buffalo, St. Louis. Ronald Powell, 32, New Orleans, and I can't read my writing. Seattle. Dale Messer, 86, from San Francisco. Norm Snead, 84, Philadelphia, Minnesota, New York Giants. Jack Squirick, 64, from the Rams. Wendell Harris, 83, from Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants. Sharon Dorsey, 46, from Dallas and Houston. Jim Browner, 68, from Cincinnati. Roger Davis, 85 from Chicago, the Giants and Rams. There's a lot of the teams that are just the same. It's been really hard on a lot of these teams, and fans of those teams are going to know who most of these guys are. Ernie Clark, 86, Detroit, St. Louis Cardinals. Wayne Wilson, 66, from New Orleans, Minnesota, and Washington. Alvin Haymond, 81, from the Baltimore Colts, Los Angeles Rams, and Washington. Steve Tensey, 81, San Diego and Denver. Don Smerick, 66, from the Dallas Cowboys. If you're still there, Danny, let me know if you know any of those Dallas players. But there's a big one coming up. Mike Mercer, 88, from Oakland, Minnesota, Green Bay. Medrick Burnett's 20. That is the gentleman that played for Alabama that died after an injury in a game. 20 years old. It's a shame. Bill Berge, 79, Cincinnati and Philadelphia. Abner Haynes, 86, AFL player, is a member of the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame. Roman Gabriel, 83, College Hall of Famer, 4-time Pro Bowl, LA Rams and Philadelphia. Jimmy Johnson, 86, Hall of Fame cornerback. And 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro for San Francisco 49ers. Jim Otto, 86, AFL championship in 1967, 3-time Pro Bowl, 9-time All-AFL from Oakland. Andy Russell, 82, from Pittsburgh, 2-time Super Bowl champion, outside linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jacoby Jones, 40 years old, from Baltimore, who won a Super Bowl. Was that the Flacco championship?
Yes.
Jacoby Jones. Vontae Davis, 35 years old, Miami and Indy and Buffalo. I feel like that wasn't even that long ago. Mercury Morris, 77 years old, running back from Miami during that perfect season. I'm sure Miami fans know that name. Holy crap. Mike Colin, or Colin, Kolen, 76 years old, also from Miami, Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl 7 and 8. So that leaves Larry Allen, 52 years old, Hall of Fame guard tackle, Super Bowl winner, 6-time All-Pro, 11 Pro Bowls from Dallas and San Francisco. Noted, obviously Larry Allen, huge in that Super Bowl for
Dallas. Yeah.
Dallas. And then O.J. Simpson, 76. Say what you want about his post-football life, but you kind of have to wonder if there's not a little bit of CTE that came into play there. I mean, it's not proven, but...
Yeah, no.
Because he went off the deep end.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Agreed.
I think this is where it's going to be the most difficult because of the amount of players people know. There's the sheer amount of players. We've had some some big ones already. You know, this one's going to be a tough one. Baseball. John Pregenzer, 91, San Francisco Giants. Billy Gardner, 96, Baltimore and New York Yankees. Johnny Jeter, 79, Pittsburgh, San Diego, Chicago White Sox. Red Swanson, 87, from Pittsburgh. I actually have his baseball card.
Oh, wow.
Steve Staggs, 72, Toronto and Oakland. Don Lasseter, 90 years old, St. Louis. Jimmy Williams, we used to call him Jimmy. 80 years old, played in St. Louis and was the manager for the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays. Al McBean, 85 years old, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles Dodgers, and San Diego. Brant Allier, 83, Minnesota, Oakland, and the Washington Senators. Couldn't read my writing. I know it was the older team. Jim Hannon, 84, from Washington Senators. Tom Qualters, 88, Philadelphia, Chicago. Larry Demery, 70 years old, Pittsburgh. John Oldham, 91. Jose De Leon, 63, from Pittsburgh, Chicago, and St. Louis. Hector Ortiz, 54, from the Royals. Ed Ott, 72, Pittsburgh, California Angels, World Series champion in 1979 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Was a great catcher. UL Washington, 70 years old. Lance Nichols, 84. Bill Plummer, 76. Jim McAndrew, 80. Odell Jones, 71. And Lachelle Tarver, 65, from the Boston Red Sox. Pat Zachary, 71 years old, World Series champ in 1976, played for Cincinnati, the Mets, and the Dodgers. Billy Beane, from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sean Burrows, it's a pretty big one, actually. 43 years old, two-time Little League champion. There aren't many people on this planet that could say that. Also won 2,000 gold for the Olympics. So Little League and Olympics.
Wow.
And sadly, he died from fentanyl. Jerry Grott, 81, two-time best defensive catcher, an all-star in Mets history. He was their best catcher defensively all time. He's part of that 69 Dream Team, the Miracle New York Mets. Carl Erskine, 97, five-time World Series for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Ed Kranepool, also from that Miracle Mets team. He's the longest tenured Met in history. 79 years old. Reyes Moronta, 31. Car crash in Dominican Republic. That's how he died. 31 years old. Bud Harrelson, 79 years old, Mets, the Phillies, and the Texas Rangers. Bud Harrelson. Don Gullett, 73, Cincinnati and New York. 4 consecutive World Series. Larry Lucchino, 78, the Boston Red Sox exec. Don Wirt, 86 from Detroit and a 1968 World Series. Ken Holtzman, 78. 2 no-hitters, a World Series playing for Chicago and Oakland. Whitey Herzog, Hall of Fame manager, World Series in 1982, St. Louis, California Angels, and Texas and Kansas City. When you win a World Series, you get a lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do right here. I don't know. Louis Tiant, Boston Red Sox. He's the one that got me to enjoy baseball. First time I ever saw anybody play was Louis Tiant on the mound, and that's when I started watching. When he was on the mound. That wind-up. And I talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than once. Pete Rose, 83 years old, 17-time All-Star. That's all, just 17 of them. An MVP, 2 World Series MVPs, Reds and Phillies. All-time leader in hits. I mean, there's a lot of accolades for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be against him being a Hall of Fame. You changed my mind. That episode that followed when we talked about him when he died.
He is Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. So he's in the
Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. That's what matters, right?
Yeah.
That's what matters. Oh boy. Oh God. Fernando Valenzuela, 63. Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, 6 All-Stars, 2 World Series. He's a Dodger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what other jersey he had after he left the Dodgers. He's a Dodger.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Willie Mays, 93 years old, San Francisco Giant, of course, 24 All-Stars, 12 Gold Gloves, 660 home runs, 2 MVPs. My opinion, he's the best baseball player ever. Best baseball player. And then the most recent, of course, we talked about him at the beginning of the show. Ricky Henderson, 65 years old, 2 World Series championships in 89, 93, played for Oakland, Yankees, San Diego, Red Sox. Like, there was a lot of teams. 9 of them. I saved him for last because that is the most recent one until Greg Gumbel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I don't even know what to say. There's a lot of Hall of Famers on this list, and they all mean something. Everybody's a fan of these players. I mean, somebody that's watching might not know who a lot of the athletes are, but out there are fans for those sports, and they are well known amongst that circuit. This was the biggest list we've had so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Never easy. Ron, thank you for doing that. We are going to end our show today. This is Sports Unfolded. Season 4 signing off. Season 5 next week. So tune in. We are live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We are live, so you can join us at any time. And we want to thank all of the great fans that joined us today. You guys were amazing tonight. Ron, thank you again. And this has been our Memorium episode, which we do every year, the last show of the year, just to remember all of those great athletes that we lost from the previous year.
That is the most important thing is the memories, right? You know, I mean, everybody has to go through these memories, and I'm sure there is not a single person that has watched today or that will watch this, you know, sometime in the future that won't remember these people.
Yeah.
And they are people, and you know, and that's the thing that gets lost in the celebrity and stardom thing, is that they are people and they go through things just like we do. And you see a lot of the tragic stories, and you gotta put those memories for the good things that they've done, you know, not the bad things. It's, you know, look, I'm not blessed with you know, with millions of dollars, you know, in the bank account, but you gotta think, if they're struggling, you know, mentally, and then they turn to drugs and they die, the temptation is always there for these people because they have so much money, and it's not easy. They got to go through the depression. I mean, when you're away from your family on the road going to, you know, city to city, you don't think that they feel something? They are human. We got to remember that. And you got to remember the good things that they do.
That is a fact. So we are signing off. We want to wish everybody out there a very happy new year. Please be safe and enjoy some time with the loved ones again. We will see you next Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. And all we ever ask for every single episode, Ron, is that we have peace on earth.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great night.